Hey friends and family, colleagues and coworkers. I hope you had a happy Halloween. We had a blast. The gypsy makeup was awesome, and we toured around downtown Bandera in style in our trailer, and the kids had a blast, and there were lots of laughs, and gosh, I love where I live. So I hope yours was a hoot also. I wanted to come to you live tonight to talk about what foundation size you wear. It's kind of like your underwear. Big, little, extra big, extra little. I don't know. Normally I am a size large on foundation. That means I wear a pretty heavy amount. I cover up most of my discoloration, and I don't like a whole lot of it to show through, but I do like a little bit. So an extra large would be somebody who wears a full face of foundation, and then an extra large would be like plastic flawless camera ready makeup. Medium, small. Tonight we're gonna do extra small. So this would be foundation coverage, and I totally made up these terms. They are not industry standard terms, but whatever, I can make stuff up, right? Hi Marty, hi Amy. Marty, I want to ask you how you're getting along with all of your products, so let me know. I have it on my list to message you tonight. Okay, so mostly I do a medium to large to even extra large foundation. Certainly last night's gypsy look was extra large. So tonight I'm going to show you how to wear your foundation on a lighter level, so that you've got a little bit of transparency. Maybe you're just kind of rushing out the door, or maybe you're going to be outside all day and you really don't want to look too heavily made up. So there's lots of reasons that extra large girls would want to squeeze into an extra small foundation. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I have a empty palette. When you order like our blush trio that comes with the setting powder, the blush, and the bronzer, they all come individually in these things, and then you put them into your larger tray. So a lot of times you'll have these left over. Save them because they come in really handy for, well, my kids love to play with them for some reason, but they come in handy for all sorts of things. So I'm going to take a little bit of our Must Do. This is a face oil, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more next week when I do kind of a skincare focused week. But we're going to use a little drop. You could also use One Drop Wonder, which you'll hear me refer to as ODW. So this is the face oil. If you've got oily skin, you do not need to be afraid of this oil. Oil combats oil. Good oils are better than bad oils, and this is not going to cause a problem for somebody with oily skin. On the contrary, somebody with dry skin is really going to love the way this makes your foundation feel. I'm going to use the Big Fat Face Brush. I think it's #1, and I think it's called the All Over Face Brush on the website. You can see that it's not completely flat, but it's also not heavily domed. This would be heavily domed, where it tapers quite a bit. This is not. It has a little bit of a curve here, but not a huge one. So it's really perfect for applying foundation, and all those bristles are going to poke down into little places that a sponge sometimes is just not going to. So I've got my little drip there kind of rolling around. I'm going to take my brush, and I'm going to roll my brush in it and kind of eat up what's left in the container. So there's not much left now, it's all in the brush. Then I'm going to take my brush and put it in my Shinto 2, which is this one here that's heavily used. And I'm going to roll it just a little bit. Okay, so sometimes we're just doing a dab, but we've got that oil on there, so we need a little bit more pressure. And then I'm going to take and just roll it on. Because I'm essentially diluting the color with the face oil, I'm not also adding the ivory like I usually do. So I'm not going to get full coverage. You can see quite a bit of redness here from the glass of wine I had. One glass of wine, and I whatever. I don't know what that's all about, but it's only sometimes. There's still plenty of oil in my brush. I don't need to put another drop on there. And do this side, just roll it around. I still get a lot of people asking me if this is a powder foundation. It is not. It is also not a cream. It is a botanical wax-based foundation. Go over the lips, knock out some of that color. I'm gonna get really close so you can kind of see. We've got a really sheer coverage. It did a lot to tone down the redness, but you can still see some of it popping through, which is kind of what we want. We don't want a look that looks too heavily made up. It's gonna match really nicely with my chest, and so it's gonna be a very natural look with just the slightest bit of coverage. Just another little tap, tap, tap. And I'm gonna do my forehead. I'm gonna go over my eyes. There we go. Now my instinct, because I'm a large to extra large foundation wearer, is to keep layering it on. It's nighttime, I'm under a bright light, and so that's my instinct, is to color correct, color correct, color correct. But during the day, when I'm taking my kids to basketball practice, or I'm outside watching a game or something like that, it's just not really appropriate all the time to have a full face of makeup. And this is a perfect way to get a whole nother look out of your foundation without having to buy a separate foundation. So this would be your sheer tinted moisturizer, or that that powder foundation that you like to have for lighter days. This is really completely versatile, so it's the only product that you need. But I will restate that I really like for my clients to have 2 shades. Sorry, spit a little bit there. Classy. I really like for my clients to have 2 shades. A darker one and a lighter one for moments just like this. So when I'm doing heavy foundation and I need it to really kind of be a perfect match for the rest of my skin, then I need to add a little bit of that ivory in there. But when I'm mixing it and diluting it with oil, then I don't need that, and so I want to have just the darker shade, which is Shinto 2. So those are kind of some more reasons why it's good to have 2. I really want to encourage you guys to just kind of go for it in the blending area and quit being a, you know, one product junkie. All right, so there we go. Now we're going to move on to concealer. I could very easily have done concealer first. I'm going to tap at it a little bit to warm it up and add it down from tear duct to nostril. Not most of it here and a little bit left over here, but a nice even layer all the way here, and then we're gonna pull it out. And with that little bit of face oil on there, it's gonna blend beautifully. Getting right over those bottom lashes to get all the pink out, and all the way down to the cheek. This is what makes you look wide awake. All right, other hand, other finger, other side, tap, tap, tap. You can always go back for more. And we'll see if we can knock out a lot of that pink that's left over. We're just kind of patting and pulling. So I'm gonna slow down for you the movement that I'm making. It's pat and pull, so pressure and pull. Pressure, you can see my finger turning colors when I press. That's how much pressure I'm putting on there. If you try to use this finger and stretch it over here, you're gonna have to turn your face. It doesn't work, I'm telling you. It's not gonna be as good a result if you just buckle down and practice using your left hand on your left side, or your right hand on your right side. Okay, whatever's left over on my finger, I'm gonna go right up the bridge of my nose. Take out any redness on my chin. All right. All right, and this has to be set with powder. if you're going to be putting anything else on it or touching your face at all. There have been days that I actually don't set my foundation and I just kind of let it be. Those would be days that I am not going to be sweating, days that I'm going to be somewhere and I'm just very comfortable. I like the way it feels before I put on the setting powder, and it will stay for quite a bit, but it's not going to hold up to a lot of sweat without the setting powder. It's definitely not going to hold up to a bunch of touching and feeling. It's going to come off on your hand. I'm being watched in emergency rooms. Yay! It's better than probably whatever they have on the TV. Anyway, so yeah, you can wear it. Just know that it's not going to hold up and it will come off on clothing and other things like that if you go to hug somebody or whatever. But for daily wear, when you're not working very hard, it's perfectly fine. So setting powder is in our trio. This is $54. You do have to select which 3 blushes you want, but I highly recommend that you do the setting powder, the perfect bronzer, and blush number 4. Okay, so now is a good time for this domed brush because it fits very nicely under the eye. So a quick little slap at it, and because this is extra small foundation, we don't need a whole lot. You just need a little tiny bit. Under the eyes is quite important, especially if you're going to be wearing mascara and things like that. You don't want it to run, and that sort of wet foundation will grab mascara. Okay, so we're going to quickly do a little bronzer. This is just a light look, so we're not going to contour heavily with the number 6 concealer. Sides of the nose, but stay off of the face. A little bit of blush. You might say, wow, you had those red cheeks. Why are you putting blush back on? Because this blush is the color my cheeks would be if Eve hadn't sinned. But she did, and so they're not this color. They're just beet red. There we go. Okay, next thing I'm going to do on my extra small foundation tutorial is use a powder for my eyebrows. I'm going to be using this shade from our Lottie collection. It looks awfully light in this mirror, but it's a really good color for blonde, and it's not too dark. Push them up. So for a daytime look, this is going to be a really natural shade for people with light brows. Carolyn, this would be the perfect color for you. You need to add this onto your next order, because in this set is also these other amazing colors. This is just the most beautiful pearly shimmery color. Let's put some of that right here, right in the corner. See the difference? Wow, look at that. Other hand, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Richard. You lasted 30 seconds. Okay, and Richard's out. I told him earlier I have a really hard time keeping men watching. I don't know why I'm not capturing that audience and really keeping them here. Brush up a little bit. Okay, mascara. World's Best Mascara. Now $20, it's gone up a little bit. Should have bought it last week when I told you to. Start at the base, wiggle out. You really should be sitting back and holding a small mirror, but this is a tutorial. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, so one other thing I want to talk about while I'm finishing this up is foundation troubleshooting. If you're having any issues with your foundation, there are a couple of things that I have commonly seen happen, some of them even with myself, and that could be an issue. Again, this is a very different foundation than what you're used to. The pigment count is extremely high, and the formula is completely different. So no liner, just mascara. Okay, so back to troubleshooting. Don't apply your moisturizer right before you put on your foundation if you want full coverage. It's going to have a hard time sticking, so your moisturizer kind of needs to soak in a little bit, and then you're better off. And if your moisturizer is too heavy and has a lot of SPF in it, you're going to have a problem, and you may need to switch to a lighter moisturizer. Something like Cetaphil, of course, I highly recommend our Skin Therapist. It is an awesome one, but if that's not going to work for you, then the Cetaphil is a great alternative. Even the Aveeno, they don't have methylparaben in them, so they're great for your face. Let's see. I'm just gonna do a gloss. I have this new gloss. It's called Faith. It's new to me. It's not new to the line, but I just got it, and it's a great fall color. It's a neutral. If you're going extra large, you should be using a lip brush to apply this. You're going to get a much better and more perfect coverage. But on extra small days, slap it on with the brush just fine. Okay, so I made a couple of notes about the other foundation issues. If your skin is not exfoliated very recently, that could be an issue. You're going to see creping, and it's going to gather in tiny lines. Here's the deal with that. Don't get too, wow, Haley, you're watching me. I'm honored. You're kind of a superstar. Thanks for popping in. So Haley, sorry, I just have to tell y'all, Haley is the youngest, did you hit senior director? Is that right? In LimeLight. So she's super awesome. Thrilled to have you. Okay. Here's the deal with foundation. It is always going to enhance fine lines. It just is. All foundation does. You see, when your face is naked, you see a lot of discoloration, but you don't see a lot of fine lines. With makeup, you see color perfection, but up close, right here, you're going to see enhanced fine lines. Well, I don't see them on you, Stephanie. Of course you don't, because you're looking at my eyeballs, not at this thing on my face, or this area of my face, or this area of my face, or this area of my face. And that's what we do when we look in the mirror. We look at places on our face instead of looking into our own eyes the way that everybody else sees us. I did a video about this, but I think only like 4 people watched it. So here I go again. Anyway, makeup is always going to enhance fine lines. The color correction and the benefit that you get from an arm's length distance, which is how everybody else sees you, puts everyone else's focus right onto your eyeballs, allowing you to be known and allowing you to be heard. So this is a lot less about beauty and glamour as it is just kind of taking people from being distracted by things going on your face and putting them right on the windows of your souls. So I know y'all have heard me say that again, but I'm gonna say it over and over again because lots of women out there really need to hear that. And it makes me feel better about the sort of plastic nature of my job. Okay, so if you're not exfoliated, you're gonna have dead skin cells kind of sitting on top, and they're going to cause a problem. So exfoliate. I highly recommend our skin polish, but if you need more exfoliation, if you're over 40, you may want to try once a month using our Bamboo Renew, which is a body product. And if you use it very carefully on your face, it's not meant for your face, but if you use it carefully, it can be very effective. If you're using too harsh of a cleanser, you may have problems with your foundation. If you're stripping all the oil from your face with a heavy cleanser that's very, very sudsy and making your skin feel really dry and tight afterwards, that's going to then perpetuate the need for a really thick moisturizer, which is going to cause issues with the foundation kind of really having the durability that it should and the stick-to-itiveness that it should. Using toner, again, that's very drying. You want your face to just have a light bit of moisture to it, but not too much. Another problem that I think people have every now and then is just too much foundation and or too much setting powder. That's why I like to show you how much pressure I'm putting on the best that I can in this format on the brush, because it's very important that you're not rolling the brush in the foundation and then putting it on like paste. This is just too heavy of a product for you to be doing that. Now, I want to clarify that. Heavy of a product, it has the potential to be a very heavy product, but if it's applied carefully, it can be a very light and transparent product. It just takes a little bit of finesse. So that's why I do these videos, to kind of help people navigate professional products in a way that, you know, otherwise these products wouldn't be available, and if you just bought them at the drugstore and slapped them on, you would hate them. Okay, so one last issue that you might be having with foundation, if you're not loving the way that our foundation looks, is that your brush may be dirty. If you have used your big blush brush for the last 10 years and you haven't done a good job cleaning it, or you've been cleaning it with alcohol, it's probably gotten dried out, and there's probably so much buildup of whatever powdery substance you were using that it's no longer effective for foundation, because that foundation is getting set with the powder before it even gets to your face. So buy new brushes. But if you can't buy new brushes, then wash your brush with a little bit of Dawn dishwashing liquid, get it way down in there, give it a really good bath, but don't scrub it. I mean, treat the bristles and put them into the position that you want them to end up, because if you have a cheap brush and you scrub too much in here, your bristles are all going to sink down in the bottom. And then when you're done cleaning your brush, use a little bit of coconut oil or some hair conditioner and just kind of run that through and then rinse it off really well, and that'll keep it nice and soft. So hi Karen, hi Lindsay, hi Vicki. I think that does it. There was a couple of other things I wanted to tell y'all. That I launched my website today. It's called LimeLight Makeup, so I don't have to spell out LimeLight about Alcone /LadyLight. You can go to ladylightmakeup.com, and at the top of the home page there's a product purchase button, and that'll take you to my site if you want to buy a new brush. Are you getting the hint? Is this subtle? Am I subtle? I also blogged on there, so read my blog, comment so that I know y'all care, otherwise I'm going to stop doing it. I also wanted to tell you that we have skincare coming up next week. I'm going to talk about skincare. So you're going to have to put your big girl panties on, and you're not going to be enjoying the immediate satisfaction of makeup, but skincare is what's going to get you a lot more satisfaction down the road when your canvas is flawless. I'm working on that. I did a lot of damage for a lot of years, so seeing huge improvements. But anyway, I hope you will try a new extra small foundation attempt. If you don't have the foundation, order it. It's $36. I can help you pick out the color that you need. Just give me a holler and maybe send me a picture of your face. And if it doesn't work out, you can exchange it. So no worries. I'll see y'all probably tomorrow. Ciao.